Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with a review of a comedy fantasy horror film from 1991, and tonight's movie is The Refrigerator. So this movie is about a couple that moves into a small New York apartment, and the only thing that is in the apartment is a refrigerator. However, they were discovered that the refrigerator is a monster that kills and eats people, as well as it's the portal to hell. Yeah. So the film opens with credits, well, with a single frame of credits, and then we get a shot of a desolate wasteland. Oh, wait, no, that's New York. I apologize. But we get a shot of kind of the slums of New York, and a couple is driving down the street. They're drunk driving. They drive up to their apartment building. They go up to the apartment, and then they start having sex on the kitchen floor. And then the woman gets up after the man finishes in like 3 seconds, gets a drink, and then the fridge eats her. And then we get credits with like pictures from with shots of like fridges and stuff from old like 1960s, 1950s like icebox and refrigerator ads, which is a really cool, nice touch for the film. So we skip ahead to somewhere in Ohio, which is exactly what they tell you. They say somewhere in Ohio, where a guy's leaving his job, picking up his wife, and they start driving, screaming about how they're young and free. And I'm at this point, I was already 6 minutes in, and I'm laughing my ass off. It's so amazing. Um, so then there's this big gag about boobs and cantaloupes. So they get a call from the real estate agent in New York saying, I found you an apartment. So they pack all their belongings into the convertible within, I'm going to assume, 20 minutes, because it seems like they got the call and then they're already packed up. And now it could be, the next day or the next week, hell, even the next month. But as far as I remember, I can't remember if it's 100% or not, they're wearing the same exact clothes, and it's about the same time of day it was in the previous scene. So, yeah. So they drive off to New York, arriving, walking around. They reach their apartment, and they find it completely empty except for the fridge. And then they complain that their rent is too high, which I learned from watching Joe's apartment, that rent is naturally high in New York. While the wife has a vision about a murder, and then some strange woman warns her about her apartment and then disappears. And yeah, that's always a good sign. So then we get an apartment tour, and the couple's having a party, and that night the guy wakes up in his apartment, or wakes up to his apartment full of fog. And it's that really eerie kind of fog that is only about ankle high. And I'm not gonna lie, this scene is actually pretty creepy. He walks up to the fridge and imagines his boss as like a tiny person in the fridge talking to him. And then he wakes up from it, and it was a dream, and he wakes up and says, "I am the waffle maker," and immediately runs to the kitchen and starts making waffles. That was amazing. So the woman actress, the woman who is an actress, she imagines receiving a Tony Award after she gets a call that she got an audition for something. And the freezer opens and shuts, and the freezer tries to eat her. Later, she finds bloody bones in the fridge, and the plumber comes and scares her, and that's really where I ended it. Okay, so The Refrigerator. Probably one of the funniest, most original, and just awesome horror comedies I've ever seen. When the film was reviewed by the Fright site, the man who wrote the review, Adam Groves, said this, quite possibly, is the Citizen Kane of killer fridge movies. And I would highly agree. while the characters in this film are not fleshed out at all, while the acting is really bad, while the writing is actually kind of halfway decent, the lighting is pretty good, camera work good, music is good. The fridge is actually genuinely creepy and eerie at times, which is really weird because you'd think a movie about a fridge that eats people wouldn't be that scary, especially when it's a horror comedy. I'm not saying it was actually scary. I'm just saying it was a bit creepy. Um, it was something about like the unscariness of it being a fridge, the lighting, the sound mix, the music. They all mix together perfectly. It's really never boring. There's always something going on that's entertaining, whether it be the bad acting or the fridge trying to eat someone. It's not for everyone. I'd say that. It's definitely for people who really like B movies. I'd say that. The effects, the effects are actually really well done for their low budget. I don't know what the budget was for this movie. I'm going to assume it was at least like 50,000 at the max or minimum. Well, not the minimum. I'd probably say at the maximum, like 50,000, maybe even a bit more. It doesn't seem like it had a very large budget, but they did a pretty awesome job with it. Um, on the gore meter from 1 to 10, 1 being something like the Corpse Grinders and 10 being something like Brain Dead, this one is a 5 out of 10. It's kind of like when I reviewed Evil Speaks, and I said this movie isn't that gory until like the last 5-6 minutes. And that's how this one works. Until about the last 5 minutes or so, it's really just blood and a few limbs here and there. And then you get into actual limbs being, you actually see limbs getting chopped off. You you see a man's face basically get ripped off at the end. I mean, it gets pretty gory at the end. Not super gory, but it gets there. The refrigerator, amazing B movie. I highly suggest you guys check it out. 5 out of 5 stars. Anyway, guys, I'm Biscuit Boo 69. The links to the Facebook page, Twitter account, and the Biscuit Boo 69 podcast, as well as Rotten Cotton T-shirts, they are all in the description below. Signing off. Peace.